Today, we're talking about sigils. Hi guys, thank you for clicking on this video. There are 3 types of sigils that we're going to talk about today, but first, wait, pause, hold your horses. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and hit the bell. Let's get right into it. The first sigil that we're going to talk about today only requires just a few steps, and I like to call this the letter symbol sigil. And the reason I call it that is because we're literally using the letters of our intentions to create a symbol of our desired liking. Now, sigils are a simple manifestation tool that are inscribed, hand printed, or painted symbols that are powered by its creator. Sigils uses energy and manifestation to be activated. Now, the 3 types of sigils that we're going to talk about today are all going to require the same steps across. First, you want to think of your intention. And I like to put this in these type of terms. Do what makes you feel happy, but try to keep away from words that are non-directive or that are future tense words such as I wish and I will and even I want, as much as you possibly can. Using those future tense non-directive terms, the universe will pick up on that energy and the possibility can be delayed. Now, after you've thought about your intention and got it solid in your head, you want to write it down. That is the first step in our sigil making process. Go ahead and write it down. You want to cross off all of the vowels inside of your intention. Now, just remember it is sometimes Y. Me personally, I do not mind having a Y inside of my letter symbols. So to each his own, but again, do what makes you feel comfortable. If you learned that Y was a vowel, then cross it off. For me, it helps to say it out loud, and that's just so I remember. I'm not really sure, but for me, it just helps to say it out loud. And always remember why is sometimes it's questionable vowel. So for me personally, I don't mind keeping a Y inside of my sigil letters, but as I said before, you're just going to do what makes you feel happy. It's your energy, so try to keep it along those lines. Now, the third step after writing down your intention, crossing off the vowels, you want to cross off all the repeat consonant letters. So if you have 3 T's, cross off 2 T's. If you have 4 C's, cross off 3 C's. You get the picture, but that will be the third step after writing your intention down. The fourth step after writing your intention down is to rewrite the letters as you see them on your paper. So for me, as you can see, my letters were T, R, C, W, L, H, N, M, Y, B, K. That is what I got. And our final step is where the letter symbol actually comes to life. So try to find one letter inside of your symbol that looks like multiple letters. So for me, I chose T to start off with, and then I just piggyback off of my T. I wrote a R to the right, a W to the left, a C inside of my R. I think I turned the R into an actual little B. I put an L. The top of the T turned into an L, and the ending of the L turned into an H, but the inside of the H turned into a K as well as a Y. So literally just try to figure out what really works for you. But this is just an example of trying to find one letter that actually fits not just one letter, it's actually multiple letters. So play around with it, see what you get, and really that is the end of your letter symbol sigil. Second type of sigil that we're going to talk about is the witch's wheel. Just remember, all the same steps still apply. Now that we have actually rewritten our statement, we can move into writing our witch's wheel. Now the witch's wheel is a little complex and I've created a little cheat sheet, but I am just showing you here exactly what you're going to do. It's a complex of 3 circles, with the first one being of 5 letters: Z, V, Y, X, and W, and then it goes in from there. So I'm gonna stop it here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing, and then if you have any questions, leave them below and I'll answer them as well. So as you can see, the inner row starting from V has 5 letters, the second row has 8 letters starting from N, and the third row has 13 letters starting from A. That's the easiest way to put it, but all of them goes clockwise. But as you can see here, I have created my own witch's wheel, which is available on my Etsy shop. Leave your comments below if you would like that. But for me, it's just easier to pull this out and keep inside of my Sigil journal. But again, this is not my actual Sigil journal here. This is just for the purposes of this video. But I wanted to show you guys that I use dry erase markers, and this is a laminated double-sided witch's wheel. So as you can see, this is the symbol that I have, and I am pretty happy with it. But you want to go ahead and rewrite it inside of your journal so that once you wipe it off of your laminated witch's wheel, that it is documented inside of your journal. And basically that is what our witch's wheel is. Now again, after you have rewritten it in your journal, there are multiple different ways that you can make your sigil your own to prep it for activation. Now the third and final one we're going to talk about today is going to be called the witch's grid. Well, at least this is what I like to call the witch's grid, because we're utilizing 2 different types of grids to get our sigil. So now we're going to follow the same steps as I mentioned before. You are going to think about your intention, write it down. Once you write your intention down, you can start with the process of getting your witch's grid done, which is crossing off all of the vowels. Then you're going to cross off any repeat consonant letters. And after you've crossed off the consonant letters, you're going to rewrite your statement. After you've rewritten your statement, I'm going to stop here, pause so you guys can see what I'm doing again, just in case, and just to make sure that you have it. But yeah. So now that you have your letters written down, you want to write numbers 1 through 9 on a line, giving a little space in between so that you can create columns. And then after you've created your columns, you want to be able to fill them in with the letters of the alphabet. So just make sure you create enough of space in between. A being 1, 2 being B, etc. until you get to Z. Now, after you have filled in your rows with your letters, you are going to assign each of your letters the number associated with its letter. And of course, I've created a handy little tool because, again, sigils are life and I use these pretty often. So I keep them inside of my sigil journal for the purposes of not scribbling all over my book, because I am kind of sucky at lines and things like that. That's why I created these laminated tools. So yeah. I am assigning all of my letters the number associated with its row that it is in. And after it's done, I am going to grab my witch's wheel. Remember, I told you guys it was double-sided. Voila! The other side has a beautiful print on the opposite side. And then you're just going to go ahead and mark in the numbers in which you have inside of your lineup. After you have done that, it is pretty obviously what's going to happen here. You're going to trace all of the numbers to the numbers that is following next. So after you've completed that and you have retraced that inside of your sigil journal, you want to go ahead and decorate that however you please. Just the same as we did our second sigil type, you're going to go ahead and do that for this one. Make it to your liking however you please, but that is it. So I realized as I was drawing this that it sucked like a lot. So I took my witch's wheel and I found a better way of redocumenting that sigil so that it is correct in my sigil journal. So I just opened my marker and filled it in so that I could find it, so I could see some shapes. And then once I had the shapes down, I actually rewritten that in my journal. But it does help to reshape your objects to see what it is, you know, what works for you, what fits for you. Again, if you're looking for any of these tools that I use, do comment below or check out my Etsy shop. I hope you all enjoyed this video. So thank you for dropping in. Bye, guys. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and tap the subscribe button. Bye.